Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm the obscure Angel PT, and for today what I have in here it is Conan Exiles. So Conan Exiles was a game developed by the Funcom and it is using Unreal Engine 4. Initially, Conan Exiles it was released on early access last year in 2017, and they kind of promised that they were about to release the full game in the end of the year, but well, unfortunately it wasn't really how the things did work, and the game ended up being released in 8th of May, which is very close to the release of this video. So first things first, Conan Exiles, I received the key from the developers first, and I did test the game during the early access, but right now we have here the full version and I decided to test it out a little bit, the performance. So the settings that I'm using is actually the same as the early access. I'm using the low-end laptop mode, which is it's true because our laptop it's really a low-end laptop, but nonetheless I decided to test the game also with the low settings, and as you can see with the low-end laptop mode we were able to get an average of 36 frames per second and the 1% low of 15, which is worse than the low settings in the 1% low, because the low settings I got 23 frames per second and the 1% low of 16. So what the hell this means? So it means that the low settings you will be able to get an experience lower than 30 frames per second, which for me it's not good. I know that for most of the people, I know that many people I say are able to play at 20 frames per second, but I don't really recommend you. The low-end laptop mode, it is a mode designed specially for our laptops to run properly, and using this mode you are able to get most of the time frame rates above 30 frames per second. The main problem with this game is that whatever the settings you are going for, the game will stutter and cause those big dips to 15 frames per second for half of a second. I'm not really sure why this happens, but I can relate this to streaming. So when you are running through the environment very fast or making quick looks, for example for your back onto the front, you might be able to notice those drops in the performance. But nonetheless I do recommend you to use the low-end laptop mode, and that is the mode that we are using in here to record. Though the only big downside in my opinion with the low-end laptop mode is that you lose obviously a lot of stuff. You lose the shadows from the environment, so there is no shadows. The internal resolution is actually lower, despite we are using the native resolution. You can notice that the resolution is lower than with if you put everything on the low settings, so everything looks a little bit more blurred than the usual. And there is also one stuff that is probably my main complaint. It is that most of the objects and assets just pop in front of you. I mean rocks, branches, sometimes pop up just in front of you when you need to find them. So sometimes you are spending a lot of time looking to those assets, to those branches, rocks and stuff like that that you need to collect, and they only appear in front of you, so it's very hard sometimes to spot them, and I had a lot of work to try, for example, to find branches in this gameplay. It's a little bit unfortunate because they could create like potato settings like the low-end laptop mode, and you could personalize it. For example, I wouldn't mind to not have shadows, I wouldn't mind to have this crappy resolution with a lot of blur. There is no problem with that, but I would like to be able to adjust, for example, the distance that I see the objects, because it's something that would come with a penalty in the performance, but at least I could play normally without trying to look to my feet to try to find objects that would pop up there. Okay, so for now that's my only main complaint with the game, aside from obviously the massive stuttering that we get with the game. So Conan Exiles, it is a game, essentially it's a survival game that has a little bit of quests and stuff like that. Surprisingly, there is one thing that I'm not really sure if it was available on the early access or not, but I don't remember to be there. There is a single player mode on this game, so if you want to play alone to learn the basics about the game and or whatever, if you want to play alone without people messing against you or stuff like that, you are able to play on the single player mode in this game. Although this game features two types of servers too, so there is a PvP, which expectable you are going to get attacked by other characters or other players, I mean, on the game, and there is also a PvA, which the players are not allowed to fight between each other, probably on an arena, but I'm not really sure about it. And you also have the monsters of the world around which you can fight them. So essentially that is Conan Exiles. So you can get this game for 40 bucks on Steam. It is a little bit expensive right now for my taste. I would say that 30 bucks probably it would be a better price for this type of game. And I think that was the price of the early access of this game, more and less. But like most of the early access games, when they get releases, they raise the price. So nonetheless, you can get this game through Kinguin for 30 bucks, which I think it's a much better price. I will leave you a link on the description for the Steam page and also for the Kinguin. Okay, so bottom of the line, you can run this game at the low-end laptop mode, with the disadvantages being a lot of stuttering and also important objects popping in front of your feet instead of seeing them through the distance. Okay, so I guess that's all that I want to talk for now about Conan Exiles. Hope you enjoyed the video and my main character. It's a beautiful girl. Oh, and that's another thing that I want to talk. So for the perverts that might enjoy this game, and probably I'm going to mess around with the wrong monster, but you feature a character creation that you can select between a male or a female. There is a lot of attributes that you can change. One of them is a little bit weird because it allows you to change the sex attributes of your character. And when I say this, I say, for example, on the male you are able to reduce or raise the size of your penis, and for the girls you are able to resize the size of the boobs or the titties, whatever the size that they are. Okay, so, and also this game features a lot of nudity. You are able to select no nudity at all, which is what I did select for this video because of YouTube, you know. And but you can also select nudity for partial or full nudity. When I say partial, you are able to see boobs and stuff like that, but if you select like full nudity, you are really able to see everything. And I say a woman's vagina, I say the man's penis, and they all have physics. Of course vagina don't have physics, but the boobs have physics, and the man's penis have physics. So which means that if you are running around with a man with a big cock, you'll be able to see the cock just going from places to places because of the physics, and same goes to the girl's boobs, which is kind of interesting. But if you are a minor, or if you are very young, probably your mother wouldn't like to see that in the video game. But nonetheless, you are able to select the maturity level or the nudity level that you want on the game. Okay, so guys, that's all that I want to talk about Conan Exiles. Hope you did enjoy the video and enjoy the rest. It's not too much going on in this video anyway, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.